So here to talk more about these UAP sightings and investigations, renowned physicist Professor Michio Kaku. Professor, it's so good to have you here. Thank you for being here.
Glad to be on the show.
So I know the latest congressional hearings seem to reveal more claims, specifically military officials who are saying that there are those who have seen the bodies of aliens. They have seen wreckage or crashed alien craft, also intact vessels of these UAPs. What are you making of all of this in this moment in time? I just want to get your thoughts.
Well, I'm a physicist, and therefore we go frame by frame looking at these videotapes. We know, for example, that these objects can fly between Mach 3 and Mach 20, 20 times the speed of sound. They can zigzag and have G-forces in the hundreds, and they can drop 80,000 feet within just a few seconds. We need evidence. So if people say there are dead bodies, if people say there's wreckage of crashed UFOs and intact UFOs, then where's the beef? We want to see the hard evidence. And that's where we physicists can resolve the question, are they extraterrestrial or are they a balloon of some sort?
Yeah, frame by frame. I mean, you're talking about something 20 times the speed of sound. To your knowledge, is that technology that humans possess at this time? Is it possible this is just a foreign nation?
I doubt it. These objects can also go underwater as well. We have nothing like that that can go underwater, drop 80,000 feet in a few seconds, and then fly up to Mach 20 to the edge of space. We have nothing at that level of technology. But that's why we need more data, more hearings on this to resolve once and for all. If we were given the wreckage, we physicists could analyze the metallurgy, analyze the chips, analyze the technology to decide once and for all, where does this object come from? And like I tell my friends, the next time you are kidnapped by a flying saucer, for God's sake, steal something. There's no law against stealing from an extraterrestrial civilization. We need the hard data. That's what we physicists live and die for, the hard data.
Yeah, the hard data. I get that you live and die by evidence. I completely understand it. And actually, I want to play you quickly. This is what Neil deGrasse Tyson had to say to News Nation very recently about the congressional hearings. Let's take a listen.
In science, what people perhaps don't know is that eyewitness testimony is some of the lowest form of evidence you can bring to a scientific conference, which is odd because in the court of law, it's considered quite high.
What is your take on this? Are you convinced? I know your interest is at least piqued, but I mean, if you were a betting man, do you think that we have been visited by extraterrestrial life?
Well, first of all, I think Neil is correct that it is a low form of proof, but now we have videotapes. Now we have hours of videotapes taken by Navy pilots, and we are analyzing them frame by frame to find out what kinds of physics is involved. And we're constantly shocked that if these things really do perform like we think they perform, then they exceed the capabilities of our aircraft and those of our enemies as well. And so we have to look at the data. And right now, we're still getting more data. And the good thing is that we're now being flooded with videotapes. Military pilots do not fear being fired anymore for reporting these things. We have more data than we can deal with right now. And that's a good thing. And that's what it takes, data. Things are going to live and die on the basis of data.
Yeah, and you say we're in the middle of a change right now when it comes to UFO sightings. Tell me more about that. You say the burden of proof has shifted. What do you mean by that?
That's right. It used to be that when you had farmers and school teachers talking about they saw something in the sky, the military would simply giggle, laugh, and say, ha, that's not proof. But now the burden of proof has shifted. Now the military has to prove that these are not extraterrestrial. Now that we have the videotapes showing that these things are executing things that we cannot use our own aircraft to duplicate, we ask the military, can you explain it now? So the burden of proof has shifted. The military has to now show that these aren't extraterrestrial, and so far they cannot.
All right, Professor Michio Kaku, I really appreciate your time. Thanks so much for joining us.